Hello everyone, this is Aryan from More Than Just a Game, and this is another chapter on our Unreal Engine 0 to Hero tutorial series. In this chapter, we will cover editor modes that exist in Unreal Engine and how you can use them. By default in your scene, the selected mode would be the Select Objects mode. You can press Q on your keyboard to select this mode, and with this mode you can basically just select any object that exists in your map. The other mode that you have is Translate. You can basically move around the objects in your scene. You can use the arrows to move them in a specific axis. You can move them in a specific plane. As you can see, I'm doing that right here. I'm moving this object in the XY axis. Or you can pick this circle and move it around in the 3D world basically. And also you can toggle this pressing the W key on your keyboard. Next we have rotation. You can press E to switch to this mode. You can rotate your object again on any axis that you may want. And then we have scale object. You can scale your object on any axis or any plane that you want, or you can just scale it up as a uniform scale by holding that circle in the middle. Also, you can access these values in the details panel for your object. You can move them around using these values, or you can rotate them like this. You can scale them like this. So yeah, that's it about the editor modes. And then we have basically this. These are basically the snapping and the snapping values. So let's bring this back to its original size and stuff. Okay, so the grid and position grid snap value is set to 10. As you can see, if I select the arrow and move it around, it would move by 10. If I set it to, I don't know, 100, it would move by 100. Or I can just toggle this off so I can freely move it around without any sort of snapping. The same thing goes on for rotation too, and scale. So for rotation, as you can see, it rotates by 10 degrees right now. I can toggle this off and rotate it freely and have any angle that I want. And again, the same thing for scale. I can scale it freely right now, but if I set this to, I don't know, 10, it would scale up. It will scale up by 10. Yeah. So just like that. We have some other modes basically for creating an environment, a landscape. Let's create an open world map so we can show that. Okay, this is basically an open world map, and we have some more tools right over here. So as you can see, by default it is selected to selection mode. I can set it to landscape mode, and I have some tools. I can sculpt, as you can see, and around the map, the default map in Unreal Engine 5, some of it is already done, some sculpting and all that. I can make it more smooth. I can flatten it. I can erase it. So yeah, basically there are some tools right over here, and each of them have some properties, like how strong it should be. If I set it to 1, it would basically sculpt more rapidly and more harshly. And then there's the size. As you can see, the circle defines the size. I can increase it to sculpt a larger area. And then we have fall off. As you can see, we have 2 circles. Basically this defines how much of a fall off we should have. So as you can see, this is how it goes when I set it to 1, and this is how it goes when I set it to 0. You can just play around with these variables and see what sort of setting you may want to have for your map. Then we also have the foliage mode. You can basically activate it, create a new static mesh foliage. I'm just gonna give it the default name. Then I assign a static mesh. I'm just gonna give it a cube. And then we have some basically values we can set up, such as the density, how many of this mesh we're gonna have in the pair basically unit, and then the radius, and we can do some randomization, as you can see here, random pitch angle and all that, so it makes it more diverse. And then we can start painting. You would need to basically check this to activate it, and then you can start painting. For the sake of more visibility, I set it to the lamp mesh, and then you have to make sure you're set to the paint mode, and then you can start painting. And based on the density that you give it, it would start painting it. So if I increase the density, let's not go that far, let's set it to 1000, you can see that it gets more dense. You can increase it again to maybe 10,000 and it's again more dense. But yeah, this is basically how it goes for the foliage tool. So yeah, just like that, there are some editor tools that you can use. If you have any more questions about any of them, feel free to ask in the comments and have fun.